welcome to another episode of the CFO podcast, where we dive into the realities of building finance systems across borders. And with me today, I have a very special guest, a finance professional with over 6 years of experience. I would allow her to introduce herself.
Hi, my name is Judith Chiziebube. I am a finance professional. I studied economics at Dalhousie University, and I worked in Canada, came back to Nigeria in 2019.
Oh, wow.
So, and then I continued working here. I've been working for a while now. I've worked across a lot of industries, and it's been a ride.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'd like to know about that, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let me just ask you, why did you come back to Nigeria?
I came back because I feel at the time I came back for personal reasons. I thought that it was time to settle down, but then Nigeria. And anyways, then COVID happened. This was 2019, so I couldn't go back.
Yeah.
So then my dad is like, why don't you do NYSC? Then I did it.
So
Why
the
don't you get a
experience
job?
for you?
It was awesome because I did it during COVID. So I was in there was
okay.
only 6 girls, and 300
was
guys in Plateau, in Jos.
300 guys?
Yes. And 6 girls. It was awesome. Low-key. It was clean and it was nice. It was
I'm just
organized.
trying to wrap my head around 300. Normally, you have more women than guys, but
No, I think maybe women didn't want to serve that year because it was
Oh.
literally during COVID, like
COVID.
2020. So people were not really going out and going to camps. Who were the brave 6 that decided
how's
to?
the experience?
It was awesome. It was
Oh.
nice. Plateau was awesome. It was clean. A lot of issues that people have with NYSC, we didn't have it because there was only 6 of us literally in the whole hostel. So you like combine 3 beds and make your own bed.
Wow,
So it was nice.
That's interesting.
It was
Unfortunately
nice.
for me, I didn't have that kind of experience. But also speaking about your experience in Canada, and now that you're in Nigeria, how has it been so far?
It's good. It's interesting. Like, good and bad. It's been interesting. Like when I was in Canada, I appreciate it because it did help me to learn a lot about the profession in a very structured environment. And then I came back to Nigeria. There's a transition. Like it is a very different market. The behaviors and patterns are very different. And but then you have that strong technical background because like when you're working in like finance, like at a bank in Canada, they're very like they put you through this like very regimented training program. So the technical foundation is solid. So you just have to learn how to work in the market. It's different, but there's a lot more potential here than in Canada for sure.
Yeah. So so that means you worked in the banking industry over
Insurance,
there.
yes. So there was it was a bank, RBC. They have an insurance division. So I was in insurance.
I wanted to say, what was it like working in a bank over there compared to Nigerian banking system?
It is interesting as well. Nigerian banking system is faster. It's more agile for sure. Yeah, you get instant transfers. You don't. Instant transfers. Bank, like I can just on my phone. USSD. There's a lot of diversity actually. USSD, like on your mobile app, all the fintechs. There's a lot more you can do. Canada is very, very strict, very, very regimented. There's only one transfer method and it's Interact. So that was then. I don't know. I think it's basically the same now. There isn't a lot of like you have a lot of we have a lot of diversity here with financial transactions, which is good. It's actually
interesting.
good.
One would think that Nigeria is still
No, it's good. It's actually good. You can't do a USS. When I was there, you couldn't do USSD. Until now, I don't think you can do USSD. But you can do USSD here. You can do mobile money, more like it's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah.
So when you join an early stage company, what's the first financial control advice you give to them?
Know your people. That's the first thing. You have to know the people that you work with, that you want to work with. What are their strengths and their weaknesses? Because it's human beings at the end of the day. At that stage, you're working with people. You're not working with systems. So you have to know your people. I think that's the most important thing. Yeah.
But you the people and control, I think they go hand in hand.
Yeah, you have to control them somehow. So when it comes to financial controls, if you know your people, you know their strengths and their weaknesses, and you know like their tendencies. So sometimes everybody has. So in risk management, there are certain motivators that make people do certain things. So if you know them and you know what they're predisposed to, you know, oh, this is the kind of risk that I would be exposed to with this kind of person. So then you now can mitigate it on a personal level. Because usually at that stage, they don't have like as much robust systems in place to like really make sure that the controls are there. So it's just it's on a personal level. So you now have to be like, okay, Judith can't do customer service because she's going to be rude. So let me put her in a back office where she's not going to talk to people, that kind of thing. Yeah. So that's where it's now like people management.
Okay. So speaking on that would also bring me to my next question that says, what's a red flag that you see that makes you say that makes you know that this company's infrastructure is not good enough?
The first thing is stress. When you notice that a lot of the staff are under a lot of stress and pressure, then there's weak systems and controls there, because it's like a ripple effect, especially if people are financial systems is supposed to enable your people to be the most productive that they can be for the company's benefit, right? So if the systems are not properly in place, they're always freaking out. There's panic everywhere. Everybody is anxious. There's a lot of stress. That's how you know that there's a problem here. Usually when you go, like for me, when I go into a company or work with a company and I feel like there's a lot of noise, there's a problem. When it's silent, there's less issues. It's the noise, chaos. There's chaos. Yeah. So that's how you know when it's chaotic. Yeah, there's work to be done.
So that's what the question asked is from the people expert. So how do you know that a company has outgrown its financial infrastructure?
So yeah, the same thing. It's when activities are slow. So when people are not as productive. So if I use like financial terms, you're trying to make sure that you're as profitable as possible. So your revenue, your people, manpower, they are the ones that are making sure that you are productive as a business. So to generate revenue for you. So if you're having a lot of issues with the way human beings are generating revenue, you know that there's a problem there. Like if your manpower is weak, like they're not productive or not even productive, they're not efficient, they're not giving you results that you want as a business owner, then there is an issue and it has to be addressed. So based on the business goals, so depends on the phase in the business and depends on how liquid or how much money they have. They have different priorities. If your goal is to maximize revenue this year, you focus on that. If your goal is just to streamline your processes, you focus on that. So yeah.
Thank you. So in scaling a business, where does financial leakage, where does it hide?
Where does it hide?
Yeah.
It hides in the accounting department. It does. Because the truth is, if you have a solid accounting department, you will not have issues, because they are the ones that document every single thing that happens in the business. Every single thing that happens in a business has a financial impact. So if they are not seeing it, which is not possible, they always see it. If they are not addressing it, then there's a problem. It's always in the accounting department. If no matter what operations, sales, customers, anybody wants to do, without the buy-in of the accounting department, it just doesn't work. Because it can never work.
Yeah, like the eyes.
Exactly. And you see all. But if things are happening, it is definitely because somebody in the accounting department is enabling those behaviors. Yes. Yeah.
So can you share maybe an example of when maybe you noticed something like that and how you handled it?
I mean, since I came back to Nigeria, ironically, most of my jobs have been like when businesses are in transition phase. So like when they're doing M&A, when they're opening a new business line, a new division, all of these kinds of things. So I'm consistently always having to deal with people. So the biggest or most significant example that I have of this kind of behavior is, I mean, things are always happening. And especially in Nigeria. Nigeria, a lot of things are always happening. The most amazing thing that I have seen personally is a fraud and theft. Because you have to do some kind of fraudulent activity to get away with stealing the monies. Millions of dollars missing in a company. And they trace it back to the source, obviously. Like, that's why you have auditors and all these things. So yeah, that's the biggest thing. And it was amazing because it was the person that nobody suspected. Yeah, it was very disappointing.
I'm sure everybody
and
was like,
heartbreaking. Yeah, it was heartbreaking. The owner was very, yeah, it was heartbreaking. It was very heartbreaking. Especially that the person was empowered, because sometimes like you empower your people, you
don't know.
Yeah, it was really disappointing. But
So how did that go?
Yeah, it was very stressful. A lot of stuff happened. There was a lot of drama, obviously, back and forth, back and forth. How did this happen? Proof. People start like, they're talking. I think everything starts coming out, and then as you keep pulling the thread, it just keeps loosening this rug, and then at the point we're just like, there's no point of looking anymore. It's bad. So let's just revamp the whole thing in a way that works, because at the point when there's such like significant loss, it's a systemic problem.
Yeah.
So you have to address the system. It's not an individual, because it's not waste, theft, breakage, all these things happen in business. But when it becomes significant to the point where it's impacting your business activity, then it's a systemic problem. It's not an individual, because no matter the individual that you put into that system, they will repeat the same behaviors because those loopholes are there.
Yeah. So speaking about fraud, right? If a business has like real-time financial visibility, I'm sure that wouldn't have happened.
Yes.
So how would you then say that real-time financial visibility changes decision making internally?
It makes it faster, less stressful, and it's clear. It's once you have like a solid accounting team and the finance team is able to do their job, financial plan analysis, and you see the dashboards and everything, decision making is so much faster, it's so much clearer, and it's much more effective. You can tailor your decisions properly. You know the business lines that are more profitable for you, the ones that are losing money for you, the ones that, even if they're not financial, like they're not generating revenue because of the work that they're doing, they are exposing the business to like a large market or things like this. So it does help a lot, and it saves so much time, so much stress, so much anxiety. You sleep better as like a business owner. Once businesses optimize their processes and have like dashboards, real-time live dashboards, mobile, they start traveling. That's when the CEO is going here, is going there. Like they have peace of mind, and they just like, you can let go a little bit because you now can see what is happening, and you don't have to be so
this thing you said now about they have peace of mind, they're traveling mobile. It just brings my mind back to Bujeti, because Bujeti gives you all of this real-time dashboard, your mobile, and now Bujeti even has a mobile. So that everything you're doing there is controlled. So if you're a business owner listening to me and you want to gain real-time visibility into your business finance, you can sleep with ease. Just get Bujeti and you're good to go. You can travel, do anything you like, but you have visibility into your business finance. So you're avoiding theft, fraud, and all of that. So you're good to go. Just get Bujeti. So now, how do you translate this financial insights to customer value?
To customer value, it depends on the business line. If your goal is to, like, let's say like in a hospitality business now, if your goal in a hospitality business is for your guests and to have the best time always when they are with you. So you use your insights to understand your customer better, know their needs, know their preferences, know what you get punished for. So where are your losses coming from? That way you can optimize your business better. You know how to like really tailor your products. Is this selling? Why is it not selling? and all this, you have this better conversations, you have a better understanding of your customers, and you can really, really go into it. Like if you notice that, demand for this, sometimes your demand for a certain business line is way higher, or a product is way higher than others, you can invest more in it so that more people can get to enjoy the wonderful benefits of your business. So these are the things that financial insights can help with.
Okay. So speaking about Bujeti, I know you're the head of finance of Bujeti. So when you look at the products, how do you then translate it into customer value?
So, I mean, the value for the customer is visibility and control. For the biggest things for me, especially as a finance person, is visibility and control. Especially in a market like Nigeria, the owners are business owners, founders, operator owners, they are always in this constant state of anxiety and stress. So once you have onboarded onto the portal, you have visibility, you can actually control your spend. That is the biggest thing, being able to control your spend, seeing who did what when, seeing what are they paying for, how are they buying, what did we do. These are the things. And once you have this and you can control, you have budgeting, you can do instead of spending hours sitting down with your accounting department going back and forth over spreadsheets, it's right there, budgeted versus actual. I don't have to go and make a Excel workbook
and
with formulas.
doing that would even like bring in things that
a lot. It is human error. There's human error, and then there's intentional errors, and then there's just people hiding information. So once you take away the human intervention, or at least control the human intervention, you have better understanding. There's less leeway for people to do what they would have done otherwise. I find a lot of the issue that I find in a lot of businesses when I start working with them in the beginning, before they start to change, is the lack of visibility, lack of transparency. The owners does not know, they don't know what's going on. They are completely clueless. They are fully blind, and you trust your people, but then you can't trust. We are human beings. Even me, you can't trust anybody. You have to have have systems, processes, business continuity, all of these things. Because even if you trust this person, is the person going to be there forever? So all of these things, you have to set them in place.
Thank you. So with these systems in place, so how do you then know when growth has become inefficient?
When growth is inefficient, it's when it's not productive. Sometimes you're just you have way more visibility. The traffic on your website, for example, now is high. A lot of people are coming to your business. It's you're seeing the people, but sometimes it's not translating to anything. They're just there. Okay, how can we convert these potentials into actual paying customers? That is, I think, what is more important than just growing. Because there's companies that grow, they are highly visible, very, very visible in the market. Everybody knows them. But once you go into the back, it's nothing is actually happening here.
And then that's when you find cases of them folding up because they have public words, but it's not translating
to reality.
Okay, so I have a question, right? There are times where a CEO wants to acquire more, employ more people, right? And then what you have in the pockets, the business pockets, and what you're aiming to get for, you cannot afford it. So how do you align with the CEO's ambition with financial visibility?
Sure. It's a balancing act. So you have to, first of all, understand what they are trying to accomplish. Sometimes CEOs, they're very eclectic. They just, I have an idea. Let's do this. So as this finance lead, your job is to also keep them accountable to themselves, because their dreams are valid, and their goals are valid, but can we accomplish this now? Is it something that we can do in 2 years? How do we do it? If we want to do it now, how are we going to go about it? So that's when you now start getting into okay, maybe we have to get an investment or a loan or this one or that one, if it is really that much of a need. If it is not, if we can plan towards it, that's where financial planning comes in. We can plan towards it, we can accomplish that goal. So we can help them to have a better understanding through financial reporting and financial planning analysis and insights. You tell them, okay, this is what we are capable to do now. This is what we can do today. I know what you want to accomplish. I might not be able to do it today.
Yeah.
And even if you want to make it happen today, that means this has to be done. You have to maybe either put your team under a lot of pressure so that they can have more sales, so that you can hire more people, or you try to find a creative way of getting those people on board, things like that. Or you compromise with them. You really need this person now.
Yeah, but
You cannot hire them full time, but can they be casual?
Yeah.
All these things is a negotiation with them as well. Because yes, in as much as you're trying to manage this business and your staff and your customers, you're also actually managing the CEO as well. You have to. Their dreams are sometimes they're. Yeah, it's a lot. You can imagine the dreams that they have sometimes.
Yes. If you leave them, they would.
Oh my God, it's a lot. And sometimes, unfortunately, that's why sometimes you have to have a finance person that can say no. They cannot, you can't have a yes man as your CFO.
Yeah.
It can never work, because if you just listen to him blatantly, like the owners or he or she, sometimes they go into huge major issues, bankruptcy, like they get fined by government agencies just because of these dreams. Yes, you have a dream. Maybe we might not be able to do it today. And this is how we can get there. So this is why you have a solid management team. Your operations have to be solid. Your finance, your marketing, everybody will contribute to helping you get that dream, but in a realistic way. Yeah.
So have you ever been in a position where you had to like put your foot down and say, no, this is not, I'm not going to accept this? And how so how did people react to that? Because you'll see like the bad guy, Julius is
I am bad guy, and you have to be okay with being the bad guy as a finance person. Like, you cannot be a people pleaser. It's just not gonna work. You have to be able to say no. Doesn't mean you have to be aggressive about it, but you have to say no. So like, okay, for example, there was a company that I worked at, and because of, there was a time when Nigeria started having a lot of issues. Inflation was going crazy. FX was going crazy. We increased salaries that in 13 months 3 times.
Wow.
3 times. And then they come back to me and they're like, the staff are complaining, we want to do it again. I say no. And HR is like, so who is going to talk to them? They're always coming to the office to cry. Honestly, at that point, I went to go and have the talk. I will be the bad guy. You stand in front of everybody and you explain it to them realistically. Like, yes, it's not just them. At the time, the conversation was, it's not just the staff that are suffering. The business is also suffering. We have to pay salaries in USD. We have to import goods. All of these things. And so many things are going on. They have to understand, like, it's just not possible. Sometimes you lose people.
Yes,
it happens. You lose people, but being brutally, like, numerical, there's always somebody else. So, yes, you have to be able, and like, to deal with the consequences. There's always going to be consequences for action. Is it that the business bears the full brunt of the consequences, or the people? Sometimes you find a middle ground. I mean, if you've increased salary 3 times in 13 months, I think that's awesome. You can't do more than that. It's more than enough.
Was it a Nigerian company?
Yes.
Oh no, Nigerians will keep.
Yes, they keep pushing. And sometimes if you say yes, people sometimes they'll be like, oh, like that. She said she agreed now last time. We just gonna ask her. She'll say no.
And it makes you seem like you know what you're doing. You just feel like you're playing a smart one.
No, but you are at that point. We did it because we understood the reality of the market. Yes. Like, there's no way people cannot afford transportation on their salaries. And as well, the management team is made up of human beings as well. So you feel the impact as well as the person. So it's like, it's realistic and it's understandable that, yes, we need to do this. So we do it. But if I do it 3 times and you're coming for the 4th time, you're doing it a bit much. It's okay. At that point, it's like, we have to all weather this storm together. Like, we just have to, because if we didn't, that business would have collapsed. A lot of people closed during that time when inflation was 30%, USD was 1,800. So many businesses closed, but this business survived. 80% till today. I go back there to say hi to them. They are all still there.
Really?
Yes, they survived. They weathered it. Exactly. They would have fully collapsed, actually. Like a lot of people do. You can't compromise too much. There is a limit. Yeah.
So now, away from all of this, beyond the tools and the systems, I know mentorship is something that is very close to your heart.
Yeah.
So now let's talk about people, the next generation of finance leaders. So what's something that you would tell them that would help them?
The first thing I would tell them is you need to learn. Like you need to learn, you need to be aggressive, and you need to know what you're doing. These are the most important things. Like confidence is what gives you the ability to say no. You have to work on yourself as an individual. You have to be strong. You have to be very, very strong, because sometimes in this job, you will lose friends. You will lose friends. You will lose people. They'll be like, you're too strict. You're too this. But at the end of the day, you know what you're trying to accomplish. You know what your goal is. You know what the business goal is. And at a point in your career, it's sad and it can be isolating at times, but when your job is to make sure that the business is financially stable, you just have to be very strong in yourself, have strong convictions, don't isolate yourself, in as much as sometimes the business will isolate you, because especially if you're coming in and like saying, oh, let's do things completely different than what people are used to, you might be isolated. But just know that there is like a community of like finance professionals that are just like, yes, keep going. Yeah, and in that company at that time it might be tough, but there's always another company. There's always going to be another job. So don't compromise your values, your morals, or your ethics just to fit into a system. You know what works, lean into it. Yeah.
So speaking about learning, how has pursuing both CFA and AACA has it shaped your thinking?
Well, it's definitely like, I mean, the technical skills for sure, it helps with that. It also helps ethics. Ethics is the biggest thing that I'm taking away from it, honestly, because the way the society that we are in and things like that, it just reinforces ethics for you. So that's the biggest thing, ethics and my skills. And it also teaches you perseverance and being okay with failure. CFA, you have to be very okay with failure to be in that program. So, and it's good to practice failure. Like, how do you handle it? How do you deal with it? And how do you move on after you fail? So, I think that that's really the biggest learning that I'm taking away from it. Yes, the technical skills is great, the education and all of that stuff, but agility and perseverance is really the biggest thing, and ethics.
So speaking about the technical qualification, does this help improve your judgment or credibility?
For me, I think I'm leaning towards it more for judgment than credibility, because if I wanted to be credible in Nigeria, I would have done ICANN. I wouldn't do CFA and I wouldn't do SCCA, because yes, they have value, but what is more relevant in Nigeria is ICANN. It's cheaper, it's faster, and it's low-key simpler than these other exams. So for me, I wanted to challenge myself. I don't want to do something that I know I can do. There's no joy in that. You don't feel the sense of accomplishment is not yes, but when you've done something you failed the first time, you cry, you stand up, you pay again, you go again. When you now pass it, yeah, I like challenge, I like growth, but just doing like simple courses, okay, yes. I mean, if I wanted certifications, there are so many things you could do easy. Some of them you don't even really have to put in that much effort. But the challenge and prove to myself that I can do it no matter what, it helps. And it helps with your self-esteem too, as a person, that I have a goal and I can accomplish my goal no matter what. It builds you up. Like, then when somebody comes to ask you a question, I'll be like, no, you can't tell me anything. I know this. I know it. So
you can't tell me what I know.
Is it I failed it the first time? I did it again. I did, and I know that that's the answer because I read that thing 10 times.
Of course, you really
exactly. So yeah.
So how does combining accounting and investment frameworks, how does it create a more rounded CFO?
So, I mean, it gives finance, being a CFO is more than just accounting. It's more than just treasury. It's more than just reporting. It's more than just internal controls. to me, being a well-rounded CFO, you have to have all the skills. So accounting, you have to be a great treasurer. You have to be a very wonderful risk manager. You have to have all these skills, because if you don't have them, you won't be, and you have to be strict. You have to be. If not, you won't be able to perform optimally. Like, I feel that if you're a CFO and your strength is only in accounting, honestly, you can be you're an accountant, like you're the chief accountant. But when you're a CFO is when you know all all the layers and all the levers. You might not have literally physically gone through the entire process, like worked in every single department, but you should have a very solid understanding of the operations and the processes within these functions and how they work together to make a company stronger. That's the only way you can do finance properly. If not, it's just accounting, or you're just a bookkeeper, really and truly. That's how I see it. No judgment.
So now, outside all of the numbers and processes and all of that, if you were not doing finance, what would you have been doing?
I would have been a housewife. I would have been a housewife.
Spending your husband's money on
in a farm, on a ranch, like just chilling with my horses and my dogs. That is literally the only other option. This for me was the only option. I had the privilege of, when I was younger, trying different things, and I know that nothing else is going to work for me. This is true to my personality in every way. Even my instincts, my intuition is 100% like financial controller. Like, it's the way I think, the way I talk, the way I act. It's perfect for my personality. The only other thing would have been housewife. Yeah. And it's a job now.
Yeah, of course.
It's
I was going to say that it's a full-time job.
It's a full-time job, taking care of your family, taking care of your people. It's a full-time job. So those are the only options for me. Nothing else. Yeah. It's finance or nothing.
That's very interesting to know. I mean, even as a housewife, you're still a finance person, because
exactly,
you have to manage all.
You have to manage the money, the books, make sure that there's food in the kitchen. That's inventory management. It's like it is. That's inventory management, literally.
Oh my God.
Making food. You have to cost the meal, make a recipe. Recipes, all of this is finance. These are all financial.
And it's risk management, not putting too much salt and all that.
When should they lock the gate? Should we have a Rottweiler or a German Shepherd? This one is more aggressive. All of these are all financial things. So it's perfect.
All right, thank you so much, Jimmy. It was so good. My cheeks are hurting because
I've been
laughing so much. Yeah. So it was so good to have you today, and we hope to do this some other time again. Come back for part 2.
Yes, please. Thank you.
All right, people. Thank you for joining us today, and make sure you join us same time next week on the same channel. But before I go, if you're a CFO, CEO, or a finance leader and need the right tools to gain visibility into your company's finance or business finance, Bujeti is your go-to tool. You can manage all your spend, budgeting, payroll, even tax on Bujeti. So check out Bujeti today.
Yes, please.
See you then. See you next week. Bye. Thank you, Judith.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.